What equipment to buy? Doing a course when I started was one of the most valuable things I could have done, as it helped me decide what equipment I absolutely needed and what not to get for the genre I started in. This saved me a lot of money and meant that I was investing in equipment that would last and was tried and tested by my peers. I still managed to buy far too much equipment over the years, and I could have saved a hell of a lot more money in the process. But put it this way, it could have been worse. One of the biggest questions is, should you buy or rent? I know videographers who rent most of their equipment and only buy skeleton kit, which is great if you don't have much initial investment and you're doing shoots that require you to have expensive cameras. It's also handy if you live near a rental shop. Most large rental places do actually deliver, but they charge delivery and it takes an extra day. Many fashion shoots, for example, can have a minimum requirement to use a C300, and that's a spenny piece of kit and not bought on a whim. The nice thing about having your own equipment is that it's just there and you don't need to go through the hassle of renting it and collecting and returning. It also means that you get to know how to use it better than any other camera. And once again, when setting up with a client, this process will be relatively seamless. If you've just collected or had a rental camera delivered, you always have a possibility that something is not working or you don't know it backwards, so it leaves more to go wrong. However, with equipment like lighting that you don't use on every shoot, it can be a bit of a waste buying it, especially if you're only going to use it on every few shoots. You may well rent them when you need them on occasion and save the money for your salary. An option which I've increasingly favoured is hire purchase. With many cameras and larger objects, you can get 12 months interest-free with a small deposit, and this really enables you to invest in great equipment without losing all your cash in one go. This way, you're effectively renting a camera at a massively reduced rate, and it will eventually be entirely yours. If you can, try out equipment before you buy it, as you may find that you don't like working with it. Every videographer has their favourite piece of kit, and most people do not like or know how to use all kit. For example, I use a monopod, a staple piece of equipment, as it stabilises my shots and means I can pick it up and walk and run to the next shot. Some videographers I know prefer to use a shoulder mount. This gives a totally different look, a more handheld look, but not wobbly, and this suits certain shoots. You see this on some fashion videos, and it's nice to walk behind a subject and move around. Others are really good at using gimbals. These can give a really cinematic look, almost like the camera is gliding through the air. I've had various types of gimbal in different price brackets, and they all have their pros and cons. Ultimately though, I only use a gimbal for certain shots and go back to my monopod unless I'm in an interview or filming a conference, and then I switch to a tripod. So instead of buying all of the above, it's worth working out what suits you more. Then if you have a large budget shoot, you can get another videographer with specific skills to shoot with you, so you get a variety of shots, which will add to the depth of the final video. Once you decide which kit is for you, I make sure that all of my equipment has the same release plates so that you can swap and change them with speed and don't miss the next shot. I use Manfrotto release plates. I also invested in some stickers with my company name on, which has been invaluable. However vigilant you are, there's always going to be that lost battery, that charger, or that release plate that gets left behind, and these are expensive items to replace. If you have personalised stickers on them, you'll usually manage to get them back. I've compiled a list of the most popular videographer tools, which we use to give the cinematic look to our films.